The mountain lion is the second largest cat in North or Central America behind the jaguar. Other common names include puma, cougar, painter, and panther. This photo of a leaping cougar by A.G. Willihan, found in the Denver Public Library, was the most famous wild animal picture taken in America in 1895. The attitudes of early settlers was that mountain lions were dangerous and threatened people's livelihood. They killed livestock. Humans feared them because of their secretive nature. Mountain lions were not thought of as an important part of the ecosystem, and bounties were paid for their removal. Historical American literature refers to mountain lions as devil cats and as threats to humans. That changed in 1965 when the cougar was viewed as a valued member of Colorado's wildlife community, and the Colorado Wildlife Commission changed the status of mountain lions from predator to game mammal and started protecting and managing them. By 1973, all western states except for Texas were managing mountain lions. Hunting seasons were established to regulate harvest to ensure populations were sustainable, allowing the species to recover after decades of widespread persecution. Now across the West, mountain lions have expanded back into their historical ranges, such as the Dakotas and Nebraska, as a result of these successful management tactics. Studies of cougar populations in Colorado suggest mountain lion density is well within the reported range from research studies with an estimated 3,800 to 4,400 independent mature mountain lions, not including dependent young, in Colorado. Mountain lion population growth, reoccupation of historical habitats, and expansion into other western states highlights the success of mountain lion management throughout the West, which includes regulated lion hunting. Mountain lions historically inhabited most ecosystems in Colorado, but are currently managed for viable populations in the foothills and mountainous regions of the state. Their color is brownish to reddish-brown with paler underparts. Body length of lions is about 7 feet for males and 6 feet for females, while males stand 25 inches tall at the shoulder and females 21 inches. Weights for adult females average out at 95 to 105 pounds, while males generally come in at 140 to 165 pounds and can exceed upwards towards 180 pounds. The tail is approximately the length of its body and black-tipped. They are incredibly powerful animals, capable of jumping 19 feet straight up in the air and kill prey significantly larger than they are, like deer, elk, and even moose. Mountain lions are most actively hunting during the dusk to dawn period. They hunt by a spot and stalk method, using cover to get near prey and a final short rush as they attack. Primary prey are ungulates, especially deer, but including elk, moose, bighorn sheep, and pronghorn. They also are opportunistic hunters, and they will take smaller prey like raccoons, porcupines, turkeys, and domestic pets and livestock. Our front-range study of cougars in an urban area demonstrated a higher proportion of small prey items in lion diets. These smaller prey items resulted in an increased yearly kill rate of approximately 84 animals taken, with 25% of that being small prey items. 66% of their kill were mule deer, with over half of those being fawns. On average, a mountain lion could consume a deer a week. They cache their kills by covering them in dirt, debris, snow, or grass before returning to the carcass for repeat feedings. Mountain lions are generally solitary, with limited interactions with other adult lions. The exception is for a brief period while breeding. Mountain lions can breed at all times of year. Gestation lasts about 92 days, and a litter size ranges from 1 to 6, but the typical litter is 2 to 3 kittens. Cougars do interact with other mountain lions and have been known to share kills, but it is also common for aggressive interactions where adult males will kill adult females, subadult males, and kittens. Kittens will remain with their mother for approximately 18 months. Initially, kittens stay in a makeshift den, consisting of thick brush or rock piles, but then are moved from kill to kill after they are 3 months of age. They can be left for extended periods of time as their mother goes off to hunt. These family groups travel and hunt together until the kittens disperse. Groups of adult-sized lions seen together are generally family groups with kittens over a year that have not dispersed yet. Subadults generally disperse in the spring when they are fully grown between 12 and 18 months of age. Female subadults may return and settle in the maternal home range, while male subadults disperse to new areas. Colorado Parks and Wildlife Mammals researcher Matt Aldridge collared 102 independent lions from 2007 through 2015 as part of a human-cougar interaction study, and found the common distance mountain lions would disperse is roughly 60 miles, which is similar to the distance between Boulder and Fort Collins. But these lions can move further. Sometimes these dispersal distances can be quite large, with some reported female and male dispersal distances in excess of 500 miles. During Aldridge's 10-year study with those collared lions, he observed lions traveling from the Front Range area to surrounding states like Wyoming and New Mexico. The orange track shown here was originally down by Evergreen, took off one April, and headed to Wyoming. He settled by Casper, Wyoming, and was there for a year before being harvested by a hunter. Right after that, Aldridge had another lion take off, following that same path, went up there, and established a home range in Wyoming. Another example comes from a kitten's mother that was killed on a road. The kitten went to rehab until it was big enough to forage on its own. When it was released, it headed east as shown in the green graphic. He made it to Kansas, checked out southeastern Colorado, and then made his way through Oklahoma and Texas before settling in New Mexico. The point is, these lions can move large distances seeking appropriate habitat with other lions. Home ranges vary from 35 to 40 square miles for females and from 100 to 200 square miles for males. As human populations continue to expand, the need to understand and manage wildlife populations within the urban-ex-urban interface is becoming commonplace. This is especially true for large carnivores, as those species are not always tolerated by the public and can pose a risk to human safety. The remainder of this video series will outline how mountain lions are using the wildland-urban habitats in conjunction with their interactions with humans. The shooting, trapping, and use of poison on mountain lions was unregulated in Colorado and in the West in the early to mid-1900s. The take of mountain lions was not only unregulated, it was encouraged with bounties paid. Some would even argue there was an attempted eradication of the species. But in 1965, the Colorado Wildlife Commission changed the status of mountain lions from predator to game mammal, and protections and regulations were provided for lions. Managing mountain lions as a game species allowed lion populations to increase and recover. Science-based management has continuously evolved to apply hunting as a tool to minimize human conflicts and provide hunting opportunities while maintaining ecologically viable and self-sustaining mountain lion populations. The foothills along the Front Range of Colorado provide excellent lion habitat and is an area with robust populations. It is also where human populations expanded at the same time as mountain lion populations were rebounding following the implementation of lion management in 1965. These factors led to dramatic increases in human-lion interactions, which range from sightings in backyards or along roads, livestock and pet depredation, to encounters with humans. The increase in human interactions led to the initiation of the Front Range Lion Study in 2005 by Colorado Parks and Wildlife. The focus of that study was to examine management techniques to reduce human-lion conflicts and to gain a better understanding of what cougars are doing in the urban-wildland interface. Over the 10-year study, 102 independent mountain lions were captured and fitted with satellite collars to help us understand demographics, movement patterns, habitat use, and predator-prey interactions. What we found was that mountain lion populations in urban areas are thriving. 50 of the mountain lions captured were females, 52 were males. 16 cubs were also captured and ear-tagged. Leading to the launch of the study, human-lion conflicts were on the rise. Typically, management responses to conflict lions were hazing, such as shooting them with beanbags or rubber buckshot, trap and relocation, and removal of cache prey. Our intent of this aversive conditioning was to modify lion behavior to use areas away from the urban-wildland interface to reduce potential for human conflicts. We found these techniques did not alter their use in these prey-rich urban areas, but may still be beneficial in instilling fear of humans in lions and short-term moving them out of an area. The GPS collar data gave us an understanding of what lions were doing in the urban-wildland interface and when and where interactions were likely to occur. Looking here at the southern edge of Boulder, we see this mountain lion came into town at night and left during the day. One indicator that they are using these areas for prey during the night while still avoiding human activity. In areas with higher housing density, such as neighborhoods, 83% of mountain lion use there occurred between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. 24% of all monitored lions were observed with some type of conflict behavior, which could include locations where we did not want lions. 39% of cougars sampled during feeding site investigations of GPS collar data were found to consume domestic prey like dogs, cats, and hobby livestock. The biggest take-home we found here is that mountain lions, especially adult females, used urban areas for the consistency of finding prey resources. There is likely some benefit to maintaining an older age structure of females, as these mature females are better at avoiding humans. Other parts of the study that shed light into the life of our mountain lions was mortality factors. The study area is one with little hunting pressure, so mountain lion populations there are thriving. Of 56 total mortalities observed during the study, 38% were related to human-lion conflict and 25% to vehicle collisions. The others were associated with natural mortality from unknown causes, to injuries incurred while killing prey, to conflict with other lions. 3 adult female lions were killed by adult males, and 1 subadult male was killed by an adult male. As human populations continue to expand into mountain lion habitats, human-lion interactions will continue to occur and make news headlines. With the increased use of new technology like home security cameras, people are able to see mountain lions more often, where in the past they would go undetected. Mountain lions appear to effectively exploit urban areas for needed resources and do well in there, but the future of cougars in these areas will require human acceptance and responsibility for pets, livestock, and living appropriately with wildlife in mind. That means if you have wildlife, such as deer, raccoons, turkeys, or other prey items in your backyard, you will also be attracting mountain lions. Hunting is the cornerstone of wildlife management and conservation. It is the most efficient tool wildlife officials utilize to manage wildlife populations in tune for what the habitat will support. Hunters play a critical role in species conservation. Mountain lions were historically regarded and treated as unwelcome predators, with bounties of up to $50 offered for each one taken. The attitude gradually evolved until, in 1965, mountain lions were designated a big game species in Colorado. Since regulated hunting of mountain lions was implemented, cougars are now afforded the protection given to other Colorado wildlife, with additional shields to meet the particular needs of mountain lions. This has allowed cougar populations to recover after years of suppression. Prior to any hunter being able to obtain a license, they have to complete the required Colorado Parks and Wildlife Lion Hunter Education and Identification course. The course is designed to help train hunters in cougar gender identification and educate them in mountain lion hunting regulations. Today, mountain lions are hunted in Colorado during our primary winter season from mid-November to March 31st. Additionally, in specific units where harvest is below our management objectives and harvest limits that were set for that season, mountain lions can be hunted during the month of April. Mountain lions may be hunted via an encounter, spot and stalk methods with the use of mouth predator calls and with the use of hounds. In Colorado, about 95% of the lions that are harvested are with the use of hounds. Hound hunting is an important tool that we have here in Colorado because it allows hunters to be selective of the age and gender of the cougar they take. When hounds tree a mountain lion, it provides the hunter with an opportunity to make an assessment on the gender of that animal. That selective aspect hound hunting provides is important. Regulations are in place that limit the number of dogs that can be used. All harvested lion meat must be made suitable for human consumption, and heads and hides must be presented in person by the hunter for a mandatory inspection and sealing process at a Parks and Wildlife office within 5 days of taking the animal. CPW collects data at that time, including sex, harvest unit, location of harvest, and a tooth is pulled for aging the animal. The hide is tagged with a unique physical seal to allow for legal possession, and that is the record number that CPW uses for tracking that mortality. Lion licenses are made available over the counter for hunters that have successfully completed our Lion Hunter Education and Identification course. Mountain lion license sales have averaged around 2,500 per year over the last couple of years. Hunters can hunt statewide in any open unit during the season. While lion licenses are unlimited to provide opportunity, lion harvest mortality is managed through the use of these annual unit-specific harvest limits. The harvest limit recommendations are set by CPW biologists and approved by the Parks and Wildlife Commission. They represent the uppermost threshold of mortality that is allowable in a given year in a given unit. If and when a unit reaches its harvest limit, it is closed to any additional harvest for the rest of the year. Upon harvest, hunters are required to notify Colorado Parks and Wildlife within 48 hours of taking that animal, and that lion is then deducted from the harvest limit in that unit. Hunters are required to check an online report of harvest limits that are open no earlier than 5 p.m. every night before they go out to hunt. The regularly updated report provides the current closure status for each unit and how many lions remain harvestable before that unit will be closed. The Colorado Parks and Wildlife Commission is a citizen board appointed by the governor, which is responsible for all wildlife management, for licensing requirements, and for the promulgation of rules, regulations, and orders concerning wildlife programs. Thus, all mountain lion management plans in place have been approved by the Commission. In our continuing series on mountain lions at Colorado Parks and Wildlife, we're in North Boulder in Wonderland Lake. I'm Mark Johnson. Thanks for being with us. And joining us is Jason Deach, Area Wildlife Manager, as we talk about mountain lions. Jason, first off, thanks for being with us. And secondly, mountain lions are such an amazing creature. When we do have those encounters, if you are lucky enough to have a chance to see one, I think a lot of times folks are just awed by the fact they're actually encountering one in the wild.
Yeah, that's right, Mark. When we think about mountain lions, they are really a unique animal in that they're a true carnivore. So, their teeth are sharp. They eat meat, and that's all they eat. And they're an ambush predator. So it's a lot different than like a bear or other animals you might encounter. They're just very unique. We think about like a house cat and how lazy they seem for most of the day, and then the things they can do if they want to jump up on top of a table or a dresser, leap from here to here. And then you take that and you multiply it by a few times and you have something the size of a mountain lion. It's incredible what these animals are capable of as far as making 20-foot leaps and really hiding, using cover to hide and their hide to camouflage themselves. They're really just a fantastic animal that a lot of people don't ever get the chance to actually see.
We've had 25 human attacks by mountain lions in the state of Colorado since 1990. So that is a rarity. So when you are out and about, that's not the normal conduct by a mountain lion if you were to encounter one, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, typically those animals that are involved in attacks, they're sick in some way, rabies, or maybe they're severely underweight. Maybe their large canines are broken, and the animal is so old that it's having a hard time finding its natural prey, and so they start turning and looking to other things.
There also have been young, inexperienced juveniles or subadults that have been associated with these types of incidents, but attacks are extremely rare.
In fact, outside of work, which of course I've trapped and darted a lot of mountain lions over the years, but outside of that, even I've just very rarely, only if there's snow on the ground, sometimes I'll see some tracks in the snow, it's just extremely rare to see a mountain lion.
We think about, being in bear country, and the advice is always making a lot of noise, those kind of things. Are there similar rules for those of us when we're out hiking and out in the mountain lion territory to be making some noise and make sure they know that we're there?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Mark. We want to make sure that we're making noise, and because we don't want to startle any animal, and that way they know that we're there. And if we encounter a mountain lion, we want to make ourselves look big and strong and tough, something that they don't want to mess with, something that we are not food. We are something that they want to stay away from. So, talking in a nice, firm, loud voice. You want to make yourself look bigger, so something like opening up your jacket and making yourself look bigger, grabbing a stick or grabbing a rock, grabbing something to, again, increase your wingspan or make yourself look bigger, but without having to crouch down. You don't want to make yourself look smaller, so snap something off of a tree or pick something off the side of the trail. Make yourself look bigger that way.
And you don't want to run, correct?
No, you want to face the animal, and you want to back away from it, but stand tall. If you have children with you or by you, same thing. You don't want them screaming. You want them to get with you, either holding hands, or if you can, put them on your shoulders, pick them up, and have them make you even look bigger. If they're wearing a jacket, have them open it up too, and then just back away, but don't run, because a lot of times for wild animals that are these carnivores, it triggers that instinct to chase.
Sure.
Cat and mouse, right? So we don't want to trigger that instinct in them to just chase. And you'll know the animal should just immediately run. But if it doesn't, if it is staring directly at you, ears forward, really interested, okay, if its feet are right under it and it's coming towards you, that's not good.
Right.
And that's what we want to try to avoid.
Twitching tail.
Twitching tail, that's right, yep. So all those are signs that we want to make sure that we make ourselves look as big and as strong and as tough as possible, and be prepared. If you are attacked by a mountain lion, you fight back. You fight back. And you fight back as hard as you can with whatever you have. Whether it's your bare hands or whether it's a rock, a stick, a trekking pole, whatever you have, and go for sensitive parts of the animal like the eyes. Again, these animals, they just like we say with bears and trash, bears are looking for the simplest way to get calories.
Sure.
It's the same thing for mountain lions. So in all wild animals, they're looking for the simplest way to get calories, to get food so that they can survive. So if they realize, man, this is not worth it, this is not okay, I could end up getting the short end of the stick on this deal and damaging something that I need in order to survive, then they're gonna head somewhere else.
So often in today's society, when people are out hiking, we like to put the earbuds in, right, and kind of get lost in our music. When you're in mountain lion country, that's probably not the best idea.
You're not paying attention. It takes you, I would say, yeah, I am not a fan of listening to anything through my ears, putting anything over or in my ears while I'm outside in nature. You know, really, actually, it's much better to just listen to the sounds of nature. It really is. It's better for you physically, mentally. So keep that in mind too, and yeah, get those earbuds out of there, because it really does deter from your own natural senses as far as being able to pick up on cues and hearing something like a mountain lion or a bear.
You know, I'm thinking too, what about bear spray or an air horn that some people will carry when they're out?
Yeah, so here we have some bear spray, and here's an air horn. And just like you were alluding to, Mark, there's no formal testing on mountain lions like there is on bears for these devices. But we think when you're in the back country or the front country for that matter, and you're enjoying the outdoors, these are two things that will be very helpful for deterring wild animals like mountain lions. Sound producing devices, these are great. Not only will they scare the animal away, but they're also going to alert others to what's going on. Other people are going to, if there's other folks in the area, then they're going to look and see what you're up to and see if you need help. And that's going to be helpful for you because if you can get more people around, that's going to be a deterrent for a wild animal like a mountain lion. And then you're going to, with the pepper spray, you're going to want to aim for the face on this. You want it to get in their eyes, their nose, because it's a temporary irritant. And they're going to say, man, this is not what I was expecting. I don't want any part of this. Time for me to get out of here. So you do have to be fairly close with something like this. I think it usually typically recommends about 25 feet or so. Okay. That's pretty close. So, and if it's really windy out, then you gotta take that wind direction into consideration too, or just realize or understand that when you spray this, it might deter the lion, but it might also come back and hit you a bit. And if that's the case, then you need to go and find some fresh water and flush your eyes and your nose.
Hey, how about living in the Front Range? What should we be aware of? You know, we're standing out here at Wonderland Lake right now. There's beautiful homes all around us right here. We live in this country, and so do the mountain lions. Things we should think about. Are there attractants? Are there things that maybe we don't want outside? Certainly got to think about pets when we put pets outside. So maybe talk about some of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So something that would be attractive to a mountain lion, we have to be cognizant of around our homes. So that could be something as simple as a bird feeder, as far as attracting birds and squirrels, our trash, attracting raccoons, skunks, our pets, especially if we're letting pets out in that morning and evening time of day. That's a time of day when mountain lions are really active. And it's something that we have to realize that we might not see them, but they're watching us. And if you're letting that animal out, there is no dog out there that has a chance with a mountain lion. Okay, these are and because I've had the calls, Rottweilers, German Shepherds, Pit Bulls, they have all been attacked, even bobcats actually for that matter, a much smaller cat.
Mountain lions are the ultimate predator, really, aren't they, in our state?
They really are, and they do a good job of finding their natural prey, but as we continue to develop and find more places to build homes in this beautiful part of Colorado, we have to remember that, you know, if we're going to take our animals out outside in morning or evening, we should be going out there with them. Keep them on a leash and go out there with them, and then bring them right back in.
Well, as we were talking too about what attracts mountain lions, if we've got something out around our property that attracts deer, deer are going to attract mountain lions, right? So you got to think about it a little bit beyond just the mountain lion attractants.
That's right, and that's one thing a lot of people miss, especially in certain neighborhoods where they love to see the deer. They love to have deer come in their backyard and have fawns, but they realize what they forget to realize is that if they're creating that natural habitat, let's say by not cutting any of their yard, not doing any trimming, cutting of their grass or anything, and just letting it grow up natural, that is nice for the deer, but that means you're also going to have mountain lions that are going to come in and say, hey, this is fair game. And we've had, I mean, over the years, I've even had calls of people letting out their dog, and the mountain lion was actually on the roof of the house.
Wow.
and jumped off the roof and grabbed the lab and just ran off. So, you know, it's definitely a real thing in Colorado. It happens with these mountain homes, and even coming into town. In fact, we've had a couple mountain lions that they'll naturally follow waterways. So if you live along a ditch, if you live along a river, stream, you are going to have coyotes, bears, mountain lions following those waterways. It's just natural for predators to do that. And it's really easy for them to then migrate or traverse a lot of different terrain and get actually quite far out east. We've had mountain lions even east of I-25 that have ended up in neighborhoods and subdivisions that we've had to go dart and relocate.
Jason, how about if we have an encounter, if we're out and about, we see a mountain lion, if we see a deer that's been cached someplace by a mountain lion, should we report that kind of thing and let you folks know that there's been a sighting in our area?
Yes, absolutely, report it. We try to keep track of all the sightings, encounters. It helps us keep track and helps us to alert neighborhoods, and all they have to do is, if they want to get a hold of us immediately, you can call any law enforcement agency. We're dispatched through State Patrol Dispatch, 303-239-4501. And that's how you get a hold of the on-call officer. So there's always a wildlife officer on call 24/7. And that's if you have an encounter on a trail, or you know, something is, you go to head to work and you go out and there's a dead deer with a bunch of pine needles, and you know, all you can see are a couple legs sticking out, right? That is a mountain lion that's cached something to come back to eat later, and that's not a good situation for you to put yourself in. So let us come help you out with that. And so give us a call. If it's during normal business hours, our offices will be open. You can also call one of our offices and get an officer out that way. But you know, we can also help with the education component as well. Maybe provide some more information on what to do and where to go from there.
Well, it's an interesting existence here in the Front Range as we're sharing this terrain, obviously, with wildlife. Great information today. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet, Mark.
All right, Jason Deach, Area Wildlife Manager for Colorado Parks and Wildlife. For more information, always go to the Colorado Parks and Wildlife website. Once again, as we wrap things up, I'm Mark Johnson. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you next time.